Welcome everyone to another episode of Cook with Jase, brought to you by Enliven Nutrition, Crema Coffee Garage, and also Thought Fox Media. Today, we have another bulk prep friendly way to get a protein source within your life, and something you can get 5 serves out of, 190 calories per serve, so plenty of room to add something else on the side of it, and a whopping 30 grams of protein. Keeps you fuller for longer, helps that recovery aspect for you as well. So it's pizza chicken. Two worlds collide. Everyone loves chicken, everyone loves pizza. So why not have them together? You probably think I'm really strange right now. I'm going to show you a fantastic, fast recipe to get this in your life. It'll be a family favourite, guys. It's really, really simple. So what do we have here today? A couple of skinless chicken breasts. We do have about 60 grams of a low-fat grated cheese, baby spinach, semi-dried tomatoes. We've got some Kalamata olives, and Silly Jason grabbed the pitted versions, all right? So please get unpitted. We've had this conversation before about the flavour difference. For the bit of effort, go for it. And we've also got an Italian herb mix as well, a bit of extra virgin olive oil, and I'll show you a little bit of a trick that we're going to use with some balsamic vinegar to do a term called deglazing the pan. And that's really going to get all those flavours off that pan and stick it to your chicken where you want it. So what are we going to do with this today? A little bit of prep, a little bit of cutting involved with these. So first and foremost, easy enough, get your baby spinach. And we want to get this nice and thin. So we want to roll it up really, really tightly. And it will come up like thin strands or thin ribbons. Nice and tight. Grab your knife, set your guard up, rock chop again, guys. We've done this plenty of times, but if you're struggling, go back through our earlier videos. You're going to see it time and time again. Tip of the knife blade on the board, back, forward, fingers are a guard. And really nice and thin. So is this spinach going to provide a lot of flavour? No. Is it going to look awesome? Yes. So we eat with our eyes as a first rule, guys. So have a look at this, nice, thin ribbons. So it's going to look really cool on top, gives a nice green element. So let's just whack that back into our serving bowl. Okay, so regular semi-drieds, I've actually patted these down. They were in a vegetable oil, like most of them are, unless you get the straight dried ones. But again, once you pat them down, you've still got a bit extra flavour on there. So same thing, rock chop, nice, thin strands. So we've only got 6 of these here. But when you cut them like this, because they're so concentrated in flavour, you don't need more, really. And this is how we keep the calorie content down. So if you're looking to watch your weight, we know that calories are the biggest factor, but it doesn't mean you have to be boring with it. So even someone who's on a quite restrictive diet, someone even like a bodybuilding diet where you're thinking chicken and broccoli, okay? Please make life interesting. That's how people hate chicken at the end of the day. They really, really do, because they keep it nice and bland and boring. Not what you want, okay? It doesn't have to be like that. So it's the whole reason behind Cook with Jase. Education about your nutrition, okay? Coming from a qualified, verified source, accredited sports dietitian. But I want variety within your life, because good food can be fun. Good food can be tasty, okay? And we've got some really, really fun episodes coming up as well with our sponsor at Crema Coffee Garage that you guys are going to absolutely love. And something you might not think would come from a dietitian, okay? So normally, again, we use the non-pitted version of the olives. Get the pits out, but silly me, went shopping quite late. And actually, my wife went shopping this week quite late. And yeah, the jars look very, very similar. So what happened was we have the non-pitted variety. And, you know, one of those 1%ers in life where you can get a little bit more flavour. Don't go shopping when your eyes are painted on and you're really tired, guys, honestly. All right, so coming up, another really important point, food safety. Raw chicken, if you haven't heard, can make you extremely sick, okay? So let's just move this to the side. Easiest way, plate or even some cling wrap, all right, to work with this chicken. So just move some of these ingredients over the side here so we can actually see what I'm doing to prepare this. Now, if you saw our previous chicken episode, I butterflied this to flatten it out, and I went to town on it, okay? I got quite violent. I got the frying pan out and I flattened it right out. We don't need it as flat today because we're going to be cooking it on both sides. We're not going in the oven, it's staying on the cooktop. So it won't be quite as high and as hard a heat, but we still want to be able to flatten it out a little bit because when you look at this, that there is still quite thick. So simple butterflying technique. Try and find where that little wing pops out there. And then we've got our largest piece of the chicken right here. So we want to run our knife essentially back this way so we can get this thickest part of the chicken halved, all right, and get that nice and even so it cooks nice and even. There's nothing worse than someone overcooking your chicken because it's like leather. But then you don't want to undercook it, all right, because it's not safe. So let the knife do the work. And we've essentially flattened that right out, which is exactly what we want. Same with the other one. The other one's not near as thick. It's already basically falling apart at that little wing part there. So let's just open that up a little bit and help it along and bring it back around. And again, very careful with the knife because we are cutting towards us. Let that knife do the work to go through that chicken. A nice quality serrated knife is what you want for this, guys. So you don't have to go extremely hard at it, and something a little bit smaller gives you a lot more fine control over how you're cutting. And that's what we want, guys. Nice and flattened out, okay, so it's going to cook nice and even. So make sure we put this knife away, touching the raw chicken. Now, herb mix, very, very important. While you've got it on the plate, let's just sprinkle it on. Now, traditionally, if you just left it like this, once you start cooking it, the herb mix is just going to go everywhere. So get the hand that's been touching the chicken and really press down quite hard. Make sure that one side of this chicken is really heavily coated in this herb mix, because what that's going to do is be the other side of the chicken, not the side we're going to have our pizza topping on, and it's going to form a herb crust. So it's going to toast these herbs as well. You still get some of the caramelization on the chicken, but flavour, 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 okay? Very good. So I'm just going to wash my hands now. We're right to get this on the heat, and I'm going to show you how we can do this and get the maximal amount of flavour out of it. Okay, guys, we're ready to get this on the heat now. So I've got a nice flat griddle pan to give us a lot of surface area to work with. Nice and warmed up now, so get a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. And just sprinkle that in your pan. Again, careful of the fact that we know that this one doesn't really have a nice handle for me to grab hold of so that I don't burn myself. All right, so back on the heat. So we want to start with a hard heat, and we're going to put this chicken down on the side that doesn't have the coating, okay, not on the herb crust. And we want to work quickly with this because it's not that thick that we butterflied it, all right? All right, so we've got a nice stick. Give it a bit of movement as soon as you put it down so you don't really have too much adhesion. Same again. Very good. Chicken pan, away. Okay. Nice high heat. So what's going to happen is you're going to get a bit of a natural browning and caramelisation on the first side of this chicken. So some of that will get stuck to this pan, even though it's a non-stick pan. So there's an element called deglazing where you use a liquid to put in the pan, not too much of it. It's actually going to pick up some of that residue, which is pure flavour on the bottom of that pan. Now, if you use something like a balsamic vinegar, the harsh vinegar notes will get burnt off and you're going to have lovely sweetness, okay? It's going to add to it and you will get a little bit more caramelisation out of it. So we wait a little bit until we can see that we're starting to get a little bit of colour, and that's the time just to add a little bit of it and back off the heat, okay? So we don't want it spitting up at us. And wait for the flavour and the smells once we actually flip this over And the best thing that you could have done is to pat that herb down into that chicken so you're not going to lose it all throughout the pan and it won't be on the finished product, all right? So let's just have a look at how we're going. A little bit of colour, that's what we want. Very good. A little bit more colour. Once we flip this over, we need to work quickly, okay? We need to get our layers on there and we will gratinise it in the oven as well underneath the grill just to get a nice toasty vibe right at the end. Okay, so this is at the point we've got a little bit of residue in that pan. That's exactly what I want to pick up. So back off the heat, a little bit of balsamic, and just watch this doesn't kick back up at you when you put this in. You don't want too much, put your finger over the end. And again, work quickly. Just to bring that chicken up and around and get it in that balsamic. We have now picked up all of those pan juices and caramelization points, which is perfect. All right, now fast again. Turn so we don't stick. Turn so we don't stick. Back up to a medium heat now. And again, we need to work quickly. So, first and foremost, let's grab these semi-drieds. And this is why we cut them the way that we did, okay? Because I want to get as much surface area and coverage, and we already know they're quite concentrated in flavour, so you don't need a large volume of them. Very good. Now with your olives, same story again. Try and get a nice even coverage on both pieces because this is enough for 5 serves, guys, okay? So bulk cooking, you've got fresh chicken, you've got 3 to 4 days life in your fridge, okay? Now, spinach, get those spinach threads and distribute them really evenly. Now, again, these aren't going to add a lot of flavour, but look how awesome that colour is, guys. It's a reason to love green things where so many people don't. Now it's the cheese time. Everyone loves cheese. So this amount, around about 60 grams, is a generous amount. And when we've got 5 serves, and it's a low-fat cheese, okay? So reduced fat, reduced calorie content. The fats within cheese by nature are saturated. Saturated still don't have a good report for what they do for your cholesterol levels, so they are linked to an increased risk of heart disease development, guys. So when you're looking at dairy products, be careful you don't choose a low-fat one that's packed full of sugar, but really with reduced fat cheeses, you're pretty good. Okay, now I can smell that herb is already crusted now. All we need to do is quickly throw it underneath the grill in a second. And we'll be back with the finished product, which is all gratinised. It's going to look fantastic. It's going to taste fantastic. And again, the crew's going to eat it all, and Jase isn't going to get anything, guys. So I'll see you soon with the finished product. Okay, guys, we're back, and pizza chicken is here. Now, have a look at that. We're going to have to get some quality zoom work going in there, guys, because it is absolutely fantastic. The trick is to really get that underneath the grill and to get a gratinisation, okay? So you really want to caramelise that cheese on top of it there. Get that browning happening as well. Unbelievable, guys. The smells that are in this room are fantastic. And again, the crew's going to eat it all. Jase isn't going to get any, but that's okay. We can make some more. 5 serves, guys. 190 calories a piece, 30 grams of quality protein. Chicken does not have to be boring, okay? Really doesn't have to be boring. So that's it for today. Look forward to seeing you next time with another Cook with Jase episode.